I took a stroll by Sephora the other day and I saw some new releases that I was actually curious about, and mainly the new Makeup by Mario cream eyeshadows. I have had so many requests to review this new release from him, and I actually picked up I think 7 shades. So I'm going to swatch them all on my eyes. I'm so curious about this. And I also saw that Summer Friday came out with new blushes. I'm going to review these, swatch these for you. And also, oh, my birthday gift. And then the Saie came out with a baked powder. So I'm going to test this out as well. That's why we're looking a little glowy right now. But yeah, that's what we're doing today. Hope you guys will enjoy it. Make sure you subscribe down below. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok as well. And let's get started. Let's start with this powder from Saie. This is in Translucent 2. And I'm not sure about this powder. I did swatch it in store, but it looked quite luminous, so I don't think it's gonna be great for under the eyes. I did not powder at all, just so I can test the powder, but I have a feeling that this would be more of a kind of all over powder that has a little bit of luminosity to it. They do have that loose powder that had a little bit of a shimmer in it. I personally did not like it. If I have a loose powder, I want that to be pretty matte to kind of set my under eyes. I don't want to have luminosity in it. But if it's like this, where it's pressed, I can see myself using a powder that's maybe a little bit more luminous, something that will set my makeup without making it look dry and matte. So this is the new Saie powder. Like I mentioned, it is in the shade 2. How much was this? This is $32. It comes in 5 shades, but it's supposed to be quite translucent. It shouldn't have a ton of pigment, so you know, a shade could fit a lot of different skin tones. It is also talc-free, lightweight, translucent powder. It's supposed to set makeup for 8 hours while also smoothing, brightening, and blurring your complexion. Let's see. Okay, so when I swatch it, it feels nice. Not too dry, but not too creamy either. It feels very finely milled. Let's see if I see the glow here. See, it has just a little bit of luminosity. It's not shimmery or anything like that. It's just not a fully matte powder. Like you see there, it catches the light a little bit. Yeah, but I don't see actual shimmer, at least in this light. Sometimes in sunlight, that's where you can see a little bit more sparkle than in lights like these. That looks very nice, but again, because it's a little bit glowy, I don't think I'm gonna like it under my eyes, but I'm gonna try it for you guys. They do sell a big fluffy brush, but I'm gonna go with a smaller, more detailed brush. Kind of wish that had a mirror, but it doesn't. So let's see how it's gonna look. I am wearing the Jones Road Skin Tint. I absolutely love it. It's so good, but I'm kind of scared to set under my eyes. Okay, let's just try it. Make sure I don't have any concealer. I did do this kind of base maybe 2 hours ago. So I want to make sure that everything is nicely set. Okay, that's actually not bad. Okay. Initial thoughts, just by putting it here, it's that it's not extremely blurring. It's not necessarily a blurring powder, but it's not emphasizing anything. Set this side right here, usually on the forehead. You can see it quite well. It's a very, very light. Like if you have mature skin, I think you're gonna love it. Or if you have dry skin, you can kind of see that it took like that oil away that I have right here, but it didn't completely dry my skin. Okay, I'm actually kind of liking this. I will definitely set with a different powder under my eyes, but to set your makeup, that's really beautiful. Oh, wow. Okay, this is exciting. All over the skin, that looks really beautiful. What do you guys think? So this is with absolutely nothing. And then this is set. To me, it looks just a little bit smoother. The actual oil is gone, but the luminosity is still there. Let's try it right here. See how it kind of diffuses the skin a little bit? That's really, really pretty, but I don't think I'm gonna love it under my eyes. Let's try it. I'm gonna set right here. Yeah, I'm not loving it under the eyes. It just has a little bit too much glow to it. It's very soft. It's not tragic, but I don't love it there. I like something a little bit more matte right under the eyes. Not intense and super powdery, just something to take away that shine. But on the skin everywhere, that is beautiful. So here it is set. And here's my skin not set. I hope you guys can see a difference. I can definitely see a difference, and I love this. It almost puts like a filter on my skin. It reminds me a little bit of the Hourglass finishing powders, but those are a little bit more intense, glowier maybe. This is just softer. Let me powder this side with the Charlotte Tilbury setting powder. And I'm going to use this just under my eyes. Hopefully the camera will pick it up and you guys can see the difference. Taking a little bit, and I wanted to use a pressed powder so you can see the difference between these two. So I'm setting right here, right where the pores are. Here are the two powders side by side. You can kind of see how this one's a little bit more blurred and just softer. I feel like those pores, and if I have any texture, it's just very blurred. This side, it does have more luminosity. It feels a little bit more kind of like my skin real, but this part, I think it's a little bit more emphasized and my pores are showing a little bit more than on this side. Not sure how much you guys can tell, but like I'm doing my best to show you. So yeah, I really love this side for just under my eyes, but just all over, I think the Saie is absolutely beautiful. I will set this side with the Charlotte Tilbury. Maybe it's a little bit more powdered than I need, but I want it to even it out. And then I'm going with a fluffier brush and just setting this side with the Saie. Yeah, this really is pretty. That is beautiful. I really like this all over the skin. And I do see myself using this powder, not under the eyes, but just all over. I think it's really, really beautiful. So good job, Saie. Okay, moving on to the blushes. These are the Summer Friday Blush Butter Balm. These are extremely emollient, almost wet. So I'm kind of scared to put it all over my cheek. Will it remove everything? I don't know. Here are the two shades. I have more of a pinkier one. This is Soft Strawberry, and this one is Toasted Terracotta. I was leaning towards this one, but I swatched this one in store and I was like, oh, I actually quite like that. So here are them side by side. The packaging is simple, nice, white, nothing super special. I want to say that these were $26 each, so it wasn't excessive. Yes, they are $26 each. They come in 6 shades, and it is a buttery blush infused with skincare ingredients that blends effortlessly into the skin for a sheer flush of dewy color. And I think that's important to know that this is a sheer formula. I want to say it reminds me a little bit of the Merit, how those are sheer. You can build them up, but they are sheer. These are the two colors. So pretty, and they are very wet. It reminds me of the Makeup by Mario formula. Like when you rub it, it's so hard but slippery and kind of wet. That description sounded awful. Anyway, yeah, let's swatch these. Ooh, that's so pretty. The terracotta, the pink one, Soft Strawberry. They're both beautiful, very glowy. I'm curious how I'll go over the powder, although the powder is so soft and natural that I think it'll be okay. Let's start with the strawberry. I am taking this Refer 04 Taking some off just in case and going straight in. Okay, these are very dewy and glowy. I personally love these blushes for summer. Oh, that applied really well. Let me see. I feel like these are not going to set. I think they're going to be kind of that wet feeling. Yeah, I still feel them like wet. I will give them a little bit of time. That is beautiful though. So the way I wear these kinds of blushes is when I do a skin tint and I barely do makeup. I want something just flush and kind of glowy. You know how I talked in my last video about these glow recipe ones? I love these so much. Kind of reminds me of these, just in a different formula. They're very glowy though. I like that, but I have a feeling that hair will get stuck. Yep, hair does get stuck to it. I will let it dry, but that was my worry. When I felt the texture, I was like, ooh, that's not gonna set. But wow, that color is beautiful. I love it. I'm taking another rougher brush. This is 18 and a mirror. And let's put this on. I actually like the other brush better because it was fluffier. This one, the 04, I actually have another one. Let me get that. There we go, a clean one. I think I have 4 of these 04 brushes from Refer because they're just so good for blush, cream blush, and even contour. Ooh, yes. Such a pretty shade, but definitely hair is kind of getting stuck in there. These are for when your hair is up, or you have a slick bun. I love the finish of it though. I love, love, love. The sheerness that it has, the smoothness that it has on the cheek, the glow that it has. So pretty. You know what this reminds me of? The Makeup by Mario blushes. The cream blushes. They have very similar feel to them. I do think that these are more sheer and maybe a little bit glowier. Look at that glow. Look how pretty that is. Here is Soft Strawberry, and I love this color. I think it's so beautiful. It sits well on the skin. You can build it up as well. Stunning. And then Toasted Terracotta, also beautiful. One thing that I wanted to mention is that the colors, I swatched them on my hand in store and they all looked very similar, even though they're supposed to be very different. I think because they're sheer, they end up looking very similar. Even these two side by side, yes, this one's a little bit more pink, this one's a little bit more terracotta, but I feel like these were pretty much the most different one out of all of them. And I did see some people swatching them on TikTok, and I had the same thought, like, wow, they kind of look all similar on the cheek. So that's something to think about. I think these are both beautiful, but again, I do not think it's for everybody. Let's do the hair test one more time. Okay, it's not as tragic as it was. I think this one's still kind of wet, so let's see. Yeah, I feel like this one's a little bit more sticky, but it is, I applied it later than this one. So I think it maybe sets a little bit, but I don't expect this to completely set. I think it's always going to be a little bit sticky or tacky. And I think because of the texture and the sheerness that it has, I don't think it's going to be very long lasting. Haven't tested that out. It's just like, I'm speaking from kind of experience working with products like these, but if that changes, I will let you know. But I personally love the way they look. I think they're really pretty. Are they necessary? No, but if you want that super glowy, juicy cheek, a sheer kind of wash off color, they do remind me a little bit of the Married blushes. So if you like those, you're gonna love these as well. I personally like them. I am all for a sheer, glowy blush. And what I do is sometimes put a little bit of powder on top, or at least in this area, to make it last a little bit longer. You could absolutely put a little bit of this powder on top. You know what? Let's just do that. I'm just taking a fluffy brush. I don't want too much. I just want to set the corners. Oh, yes. Yes. This is a nice powder, guys. For things like this, it still leaves the glow. Oh my goodness, this was a genius idea, if I say so myself. Let's move on to probably the main reason you guys are watching this, the Makeup by Mario cream eyeshadows. These are the Master Mattes Longwear cream eyeshadows. These are $25 each and they come in 10 shades. Here are all the colors that I picked up. I love the packaging. I love that I can see the color. I love the tube. It does have like a pointy end. Just everything about it feels very organic, and I would think that it's easy to use. Also, this plastic is kind of almost feels velvety. So I really like the packaging, but mainly the fact that you can see the color. And here, I don't know if you guys can tell, the color name is written big, so you can see. I almost can never see the name when it's written or printed so small, so I really like that. There is a doe foot applicator, which will make it quite easy to just apply it on. First shade is called Bisque, and it is very light. I like these kinds of colors for the inner corner or to brighten up. Also, you can mix and match different shades to create different undertones or depth. So I think a color like this is really nice. Next, we have the color Blush. This, I was kind of hesitant to pick it up just because I don't know, I don't always reach for a color like this, but when I swatched, I was like, actually, that's muted enough where I think I would get use out of it. Then we have Mauve. It's really pretty. I think a lot of people are gonna like that. Taupe, it's a little bit more of a cooler brown. These feel almost whipped. Next is Chestnut, a beautiful shade. I love that one. Sienna is a warmer brown. This would be my #1 pick just by watching videos and seeing swatches. These two, they speak to me. And then the last one is Espresso. They also had a beautiful black color. I almost picked it up, but the color Espresso, look how dark and intense it is. This is deep enough where I wouldn't need a black. So these are the swatches. I love the undertones. I think they're so perfect. These are supposed to be sweat proof, waterproof, extremely long lasting. And I'm gonna let these set and then we'll see if they smudge or anything. Let's start with the color Bisque. I am just gonna apply this all over. Wow, that is so pigmented. I'm just gonna use a fluffy brush to blend it out. You could probably even use your fingers. This is a very light color. They do have another color that's called Sandstorm, I think, that's a little bit deeper than this one. It's still a brightening shade. Wow, that was so easy to blend out. But I wanted a really light one so I can mix and match. Just gonna add a little bit more right there. Very, very pigmented. And blends in nicely, but we'll see how the deeper ones blend. Here is the shade Bisque. Putting blush on the other side. These almost feel dry when they go on. It doesn't feel very wet at all. Just using my finger to blend this out. I'm using my left hand, so hopefully this will work well. Okay, that was so easy to blend out. Did you guys see that? I didn't cut anything out. Okay, that is really pretty. I'm actually glad I got this shade. Building this up just a little bit more. And you could definitely just take another fluffy brush and then blend this out. Here is the color Blush, and I think it is so beautiful. It's soft. It does have a little bit of pop of color, but not too much. Very, very wearable. Okay, I let these sit for a little bit, so let's see. So these are not coming off. Now, if I scrub, I feel like I'll like kind of peel them off almost, but they are not budging. They're staying there. I will do a final look at the end and put mascara and everything, but I didn't want to put mascara and have to wipe it off every time. Next, we have the color Mauve. It's such an interesting feeling because it kind of feels like I'm putting nothing on my lid. Almost dry feeling. I'm just taking a fluffy brush to blend the edges. That's a soft color on me. I do have a little bit of a tan now. It's really pretty, very soft. Just love the blend of this. I feel like I only spent a couple seconds to blend this. And it's just seamless. Very, very easy. Okay, this color is stunning. Here is the shade Mauve. I think it's so beautiful. Every day, a little bit more cool tone. Really, really beautiful. Next to it, let's put the shade Taupe. Just adding everywhere and blending this out. I'm adding a little bit more right here in the crease. I did add a lot more in the crease. Just was curious to see how it will blend out. Here is the shade Taupe, and I initially thought that this color would be a little bit too green on me. It would make me look a little bit muddy, but I think this color with mascara on, it would look so beautiful. I could even get a little bit of Bisque and put it right there in the center. So yeah, I do enjoy this color as well. Moving on to Chestnut. I think that this is one of the most exciting colors for me personally. Also Sienna, I think that that one's gonna look really nice. That one's a little bit more warm and intense. But this one all over the lid, oh, so good. This color is kind of like my perfect everyday color. I am gonna build it up just a little bit more so you can see it. Also, it's so easy to blend out. I think that's probably the most surprising part of all of these is not the colors, because we all know Makeup by Mario can create beautiful colors, but how easy it is to blend out. Here is the shade Chestnut Built Up. I do really like this shade. I personally would wear it more as a wash-off color, not quite as built up, but I really wanted you guys to see the color and the potential that it has. But it's really beautiful. This one and the Taupe are more similar than I thought. I personally prefer this one for my skin tone, but they're both beautiful. Next, we have Sienna, which I'm so excited about this color. I like a more warmer brown on my skin tone, and I think this would be a perfect like crease color or to darken up the look. I'm picking up just random blending brushes from a Refer to, what's this? Yeah, Refer. It's probably 90% Refer, honestly. Wow, this is pretty intense. But I like the warmth that it has in it. Here is the shade Sienna. It definitely has a little bit more warmth in it, but it's not too orangey, which I like. I feel like even the warmer color, the cool tone colors, none are extreme. So don't be afraid of it being too warm or too cool tone, because I think they're very well balanced. Obviously, these looks are not looking great because I don't have mascara. I'm literally just doing eye swatches. So it would look so much better if I had mascara and actually worked on the eye look. But I think this will give you a good idea of what to expect from the colors. Last one is Espresso, and this is a deep, deep color. I bought this one to darken up my eye look or to use as a liner. I'm gonna slowly blend this out. It's very, very pigmented. All of these are. Whew, I'm taking some off. I need a closer mirror. And I'm just diffusing the color a little bit. This is the only one that I'm having a hard time blending out, and I think is because I applied too much. It is quite dark, as you can see. So where I first applied it, I think I applied a little too much, and it dried out before I was able to blend it out. So I'm putting just a little bit more and just using my brush to blend this out. I should have done this from the beginning with a shade that's this intense. I shouldn't have gone straight on the eye. I was a little too confident in my skills. Here is the shade Espresso Blended Out. I love the tone of this brown. I personally would mainly use this to darken up the outer corner or to smudge my lash line. But if you want to wear it all over, don't make the same mistake I did and apply a ton of product straight on the eye and then try to blend it out, because the pigment is so intense, it's so dark, mostly if you have lighter skin tone, that by the time you're trying to blend it all out, it's just not going to be quite as smooth and as easy to blend out as the other colors. So use your hand, put some product on the hand, work it into the brush, and then go and slowly build up the color. And then if you want more intensity at the end, after you've kind of built up the shape, go in straight with this and add a little bit more depth where you want it. Removed everything, and I want to do an actual look. So I kind of want to start with the shade Mauve all over. I'm just gonna use a brush to blend it out. This is pretty much my first layer. I think this is a great color. I was afraid that it would be a little bit too cool tone, but all these colors are just soft. You know, nothing is extreme. There is one shade, I think it's called Slate. It's like a gray blue. I skipped that one just because that color does not look good on me at all. And then there's a black one, and I think a sandstone color, which honestly, I think that would be a perfect shade. Putting a little bit of this under my eyes as well, just as a base level. Next, I do want to add a little bit of the chestnut color on the outer area, almost coloring a V. And just blending this out. So easy. These are so easy to work with. The only thing that you have to worry about is them drying out before you're done blending them out. So that's why I don't apply it on both eyes and then go to blend it out. I make sure I blend it out each eye at a time. Do I have a plan for this look? Not really. I just want to see how the products work together, if they're starting to peel, if I keep adding, and all that. Then I'm taking the shade Bisque and brightening up this inner corner. I'm taking a clean brush for this and blending this in. You could even put it in the center of your lid right there. This color is definitely brightening. You can see how bright it is. If you don't like a color this bright, go for the next one down that I don't have here. I personally do like a color that's brightening because I can always darken it up with another brown. Just taking a little bit right here under my eyes. And I want to add a little bit of Sienna. Just want a little bit more warmth because the eye look looks quite cool tone. So I'm just going to add a little bit of Sienna. I'm working off of my hand and just putting it in the crease here. Yeah, I like that. So this is the third color that I'm applying on this outer area, and it's not peeling or anything, but I do feel it going over a set product, you know. So if you rub a product that's already dry, that's kind of how it feels on the eye at this point, because it has, again, 3 layers. But it's still not patchy, it's still not peeling or anything. So it seems to layer really well. And last thing I'm doing is taking the shade Espresso with a very pointed brush, a pencil brush like this. And I'm just gonna smudge at the lash line right here. This is how I would use this color to kind of smoke out my lash line and make it a little bit more intense. Just for the fun of it, I want to add a little bit of this pink right in the center, just kind of a wash of color. I already used, what, 5 shades so far? Might as well use another one. So I'm just taking a little bit and putting it right in the center there. And I may actually use my finger. At this point, I feel like it's getting a little bit muddy, you know, because I've used so many colors. But I thought that this would brighten up this center a little bit. I am going to stop here. I'm going to put mascara on and I'll show you the finished eye look. Here is the finished eye look. I added 2 layers of mascara and I did add black on the upper waterline, not on the lower lash line or lower waterline. And this is how it looks like. I am surprised that after using 5 or 6 of the colors that this is still looks fine. You know, I was expecting it to be muddy and for it to kind of peel and just move around. It does feel quite drying on the eyes, but I also swatched all 7 shades and then did another eye look, so that may have something to do with that. But I'm surprised that it turned out this well when I applied so many colors over and over again on my eyes. Now, I don't necessarily recommend you do that. I think you could pick 3 shades or even 2 shades and just work with that. I think these are supposed to be kind of easy, everyday, very long lasting products. So you don't need 5, 6 shades to create an eye look. I think the Bisque one is a must in my opinion. This one or the Sandstone. I don't even know if that's the name, just so you know. Probably said it the wrong way this whole video. Yes, it is Sandstone. That one is not quite as bright, but for me this is quite important because this almost cancels some darkness, or if you have to correct anything, this is a great shade to have. And you can also mix and match, so you can get a deeper shade and a lighter shade and mix and match on your hand and then go on your eyes. I think that is just very versatile. I do think my favorite is Bisque Espresso, which is the darkest one, and Sienna. Where's the darkest one? Here. Espresso, Sienna, Bisque, and I really liked blush. These 4 are the ones that I probably would pick. The other ones are very nice. They're just a little bit more cool tone. And for my skin tone, I prefer something a little bit more warm. So I love these shades. I think they're beautiful. Overall, the application was easy. You guys saw how easy it was to blend each color individually. I thought it was kind of brilliant, honestly, how effortless and easy it was to apply them. Now, if you have dryness around your eyes, like on your lids or eczema or things like that, I don't think this product is for you because it's quite matte. Like there's no hydration there. Even when you apply it, it doesn't feel wet at all. It feels dry. And so I'm kind of concerned for drier eyes or even very mature eyes. But at the same time, I feel like because they're so long lasting and they don't seem to crease at all, that may be a positive. So it's kind of a give or take, but I personally love them, absolutely love them. I think that they're going to get a lot of use out of them. They are much more thick and creamy than some of other cream shadows or liquid shadows that I have from Armani. Those are much more wet. These are creamier and thicker, and they completely set down, almost like a paste. It's a paste for your eyes. I personally like them. I don't think it's going to be for everybody, but I do think a lot of people are going to enjoy them because the longevity, because the ease of use. And if you want glitter or something, you just kind of pop it on top of this. I want to know your thoughts on this new releases. I also did buy the Danessa Myricks shadow sticks, and those are coming in the mail soon, so I'll record a video on those as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed the swatches, and I'll see you in the comments down below. Bye.